Welcome back to drillingcontractor.org. I'm Joanne Liu reporting from the 2013 MEDT in Dubai. Joining me is Hans Flickerma, the drilling manager for Maersk Oil in Qatar. Hans, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you very much.
So this morning you chaired the people session and how to create passionate people. What were some of the main takeaways from that panel?
Well, the main takeaway from the panel is that this is the first time I've seen a panel where we actually were listening to our own young generation rather than specialists telling us what a young generation thinks. And I think we need to listen very carefully to what the messages we got from them this morning and do something with it.
So what kind of lessons were learned, especially coming from the young panelists?
Well, I think compared to the generation which I grew up with, these people want more control over their own future. They want to decide themselves which way the careers are going. And we need to give them that space. Of course, on the one hand, we need to develop their competencies, but then we need to give them the space and the freedom that actually they can move in a direction that motivates them. If they're motivated, then they will become passionate, no doubt about it.
One of the points brought up was that we have passionate people entering the industry, but how do we maintain that passion?
Well, there was two questions this morning which really did surprise me, but it brought back home to me we sometimes are our own worst enemy. It's still like the old days when I went to the rig, you were just told go there and learn, and nowadays so you felt de-energized, yeah, and we still have a similar habit. We need a culture change in particularly now people in the offshore, but also in the department, that they must see these young people as their task to develop them. It's an important part of the job to develop these young people, and I don't think we still have that culture where everybody sees that, particularly not at the working level.
And another point brought up was how we have an industry with great technology, very advanced, but we're not making it as public.
Indeed, I mean, technology-wise, we do great things in the oil industry. But on the other hand, and they are good for our core business, drilling wells and completing wells and producing more oil. But I think there's other technologies around us that we're not using. I mean, for instance, communication technologies, the use of IT on the rig side. I mean, we have, and that is exactly what appeals to the younger generation. They want to see application of all these modern technologies and communication and IT to be applied in the job as well. And we are not very good at doing that. So there we still have to, somebody mentioned this morning, it has to be a bit sexy, the industry. You need to make it hop, make it hip. Yeah? That's the way you make it hip. You use the modern tools that other industries are using also in our industry. It's not just about drilling a well and completing it with high-tech stuff. It's also about using modern technology in terms of communication, learning, and all these things. And we're not very good at that.
Well, Hans, thanks so much for joining me, and hopefully we'll become more hip.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you for joining us on drillingcontractor.org.